My name is Kathy Steffen for Access Hollywood, and I am joined by Pepper, Miss You Know the Rest, Peppermint. How you doing?
Oh, honey, I'm fabulous. How are you?
I am doing even better today now that I get the chance to chat with you. And I am especially excited because you have a lot of fun stuff coming up, especially this month.
Tons, tons.
So let's start with New Year's Eve, because I think we are all pretty excited for 2020 to be over. So New Year's Eve is what I've been counting down to. I'm not even thinking about Christmas. So you're going to be hosting alongside Ms. Cracker. Tell me what we can expect from this New Year's Eve Dragtastic Spectacular.
Yes, well, I'm glad you gave it that name, and I feel the exact same as you. New Year's Eve, and honestly, I'm looking forward to New Year's Eve 2022. Like, just get me as far away from now as possible. And so that's what me and the rest of the queens have in mind. It's not only myself and Miss Cracker who are hosting, but also Bob the Drag Queen, Alaska, Trixie, Katya, and many, many other fabulous queens, Jujubee. And it's just really a huge drag extravaganza. It's a New Year's Eve countdown party, pretty much for all of the major time areas or time zones. And so Cracker and I are kicking off the evening for the East Coast in the States. And then also we're doing South America, we're doing Brazil, and we're doing London, of course, because theirs is earlier than the East Coast in the United States. And then we're also doing later time zones with Bob the Drag Queen and Trixie and Katya as the hosts. And then there's other wonderful performances. So basically it's an evening of drag concerts hosted by myself and Miss Cracker.
I absolutely cannot wait. And I need to ask you, in that vein, do you have a New Year's resolution for 2021?
Never go back in a time machine. That's my resolution. Let's amend that. If I have a time machine, never visit 2020. That's pretty much it.
You know, I haven't thought of a resolution yet, and I think I'm going to steal yours. That's the best one I've heard.
Be my guest. Be my guest.
Now, something else that you've had going on that I have been watching religiously for the last couple months is your Pep Talks series. On your YouTube channel, you have been going through doing Black classic cinema, which I'll admit, I had not seen many of the movies that you had chatted about, and I feel like I'm learning so much. What inspired you to create this series?
You know, I would, look, I'm a movie buff, and I have a few close friends of all very diverse group of friends. And I noticed that many of my white friends just hadn't had the opportunity or maybe even the interest in seeing some of those classic Black films that I grew up with. And I wanted to figure out a way to kind of present them in an entertaining way to people so that they could learn, get a chance to see some of this classic Black cinema. And then they would realize that all of the sassy quotes that we see on things like Drag Race don't just come from Drag Race. A lot of these things are rooted in a culture that's way before, that precedes shows like Drag Race. And so that was really the inspiration. And I said, let me get my celebrity friends together. We're gonna get, we're not gonna get dressed up, we're gonna get dressed down. Everybody wear your favorite onesie or your PJs, your mud mask, get your glass of beverage, whatever you're having that evening, and let's watch these movies and talk about them. And so it's been great. We've had a great reception. Coming up, we have Angelica Ross from the cast of Pose. MJ Rodriguez is coming up. There's some other big names that I can't even mention just yet. We've also had many of the Drag Race alumni. This week we have Valentina. And so it's just been a great time and a great way to sit down and talk to my close friends and get their takes on some of this cinema. We watched movies like everything. Yesterday we just watched Barbershop 2, or actually next week we're watching Barbershop 2. We're watching BAPS this week. We also watched Malcolm X and Do the Right Thing. And so it really runs the gamut. Many of these are movies that people haven't seen, but if you watch it with me, I will take you through it and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I loved how approachable it was. That even for me, someone who hadn't seen a lot of these movies, I was like, okay, I can watch this. I can get through. You know, she's making it easy for me to understand.
Yeah, well, that's the key. And if you have a little beverage, then it might help.
Oh, I always have a background, don't you worry. Now, that's one of the things that we've seen on your YouTube channel, but we've also seen you've been releasing all of these videos from your album. You have A Girl Like
Mhm.
Me, Letters to My Lovers. Now,
Mm.
what is coming up next for you musically? We saw this amazing music video that you just released a couple like last month. Are we going to get
Mhm.
any new music videos? Let me know.
Yeah, there's a new music video for the cover song that I do, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? That drops on Christmas, right after Christmas, or over the holidays, I should say. And then in the new year, there's a couple more music videos coming out from this album, and it's one of three. It's a trilogy. So this is part one, which is the beginning of my relationship. The next part, obviously, is the middle of my relationship, and that comes out in the new year. And of course, there's going to be videos with that. Guests on that album are Caswell, who I can call my gay husband. He was actually the first musical guest to train the queens on RuPaul's Drag Race season 1. And also Laith Ashley, who's a popular activist and singer and trans model. And also, who else? Jerome Bell, who from One Up Duo, who was on The Voice. And so I have a lot of wonderful guests. The album has been co-written and co-produced by Corey Tutt, myself, and Adam Joseph. And so it's a whole year of Peppermint musical goodness. If you like any of the music, then you can go ahead and get started with Volume 1, which is out right now, and then get ready for Volumes 2 and 3. And if you really love it, folks can go and get the vinyl album, which is basically coming out right now. And it's on pre-sale, but then pretty soon the price goes up. So, people should get it and check it out. I had to get a record player to get, because I knew I have an album coming out on vinyl and I don't even have a record player. Now, obviously, I'm probably not going to listen to it. I'm just going to sit and look at it. But it is nice to know that it exists.
I love it. That's dedication to your craft, getting a record player. Now, I also wanted to chat with you about, now I am a huge theater nerd and I was obsessed with your performance in Head Over Heels. You got rave reviews.
Aww.
It was history making. And I know that it's been tough because obviously for the last few months, Broadway hasn't been around. Would you consider making a return to Broadway after this?
Yeah, I think I would. I would definitely make a return to Broadway if the right project came along and I nailed the audition, then maybe I'd be the right person for it. I would say that I would do a Broadway show after Broadway really addresses like safety in terms of COVID, because I don't want to put myself at risk. The last group of friends that I had that were on Broadway, half them, I won't say which show, I think 14 or 15 people out of the cast of 20 got sick with COVID. And so it's kind of serious. It was kind of serious, right? This is one of the last shows that was open before Broadway closed down. And, but the pandemic has definitely wreaked havoc on the live theater world globally. And so I think we're all waiting with bated breath for this industry to make a return. It's a beloved industry. It's full of a lot of tradition. Some of that tradition are things that we need to leave behind in 2020. For instance, the rampant systemic problems with systemic racism that at least in the United States, the business world of Broadway has this problem. And so these are things that right now we're on a hiatus and y'all have a lot of time to fix yourselves before we invite you back into 2021. I'm talking to the Broadway world, Broadway producers and people that expect to take our money, our precious dollars in the new year in 2021, get right with this issue and with COVID, and then we'll all be back.
Well, I totally
Shots
agree.
fired.
And that's that, period. Well, Peppermint, I am so excited that I got the opportunity to chat with you, and I cannot wait to tune in this New Year's Eve to watch you. And maybe I'll buy myself a record player too, so that I can listen to your album.
We'll do it together in tandem. I'll call you and we'll be like, Ricka, Ricka, Ricka.
Looking forward to it. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you the best.